This is Kawah Ijen, a 1,000-year-old volcano on Java Island, Indonesia. These men are slaving away here in medieval working conditions. They are mining sulfur. These yellow crystals that come from deep below the earth are crucial to Indonesian industry. But the men are paid a pittance for this life-threatening labor. This is where the miners who fuel Indonesia's sulfur business live, in these remote villages in East Java, on the Pacific Ring of Fire. Jumanto is one of those miners. He descends deep into the crater every day, as did his father and his grandfather before him.
Everyone here knows that Jumanto is fearless.
I work hard, it's true, but you know, all those who dare to face the volcano, they're brave men. They're not afraid.
When
I'm not working, I spend time with my children or talk with the other miners. Now I'm going to see my father. Hi Dad, how are you?
Everything is fine, thank you.
Jumanto's father spent his working life in the volcano. He looks like an elderly man, but he is only 53 years old.
But it was harder for you in your time.
Of course, in my day we would get a penny for a kilo of sulfur, and I had to carry the sulfur all the way here.
What, a penny? And you had to bring it all the way to the village? How did you do it?
We also had to buy our own basket for 3 cents.
Now the work's easier and better paid.
My greatest fear was the tigers, the wild boars and other dangerous animals.
You saw tigers?
Yes, of course. We had to scare them with fire if we wanted to escape.
It's good, I have my rice. Have you forgotten anything? Did you prepare the chili?
Yes.
Good, because rice without chili is awful.
It's still a good 3 hours before sunrise, the beginning of a long day for Jumanto. Together with other miners, the slow ascent of Kawah Ijen will begin. It involves several hours of climbing, first by motorcycle, and then by foot on narrow paths. The slope becomes steeper and more difficult as we climb. We are 2,400 meters above the crater. The thick, opaque clouds crowning nearby peaks are not morning fog, but the first emissions of toxic sulfuric gas.
The smoke you see here, that's sulfur. It's hard, isn't it?
7 a.m. marks the day's first descent into the heart of the crater.
We have to bring a lot back today. I want to make a good wage.
The descent into the hellish conditions below begins. The lake at the bottom has the highest known levels of acidity in the world. When these turquoise waters make contact with molten lava, they emit clouds of sulfuric vapor. It's here where Jumanto and his fellow miners earn their living.
It burns the eyes. It's horrible.
As the miners dig for sulfuric crystals, the heat is unbearable. The air is barely breathable. A single tiny spark could ignite a lethal explosion. Hydrochloric acid vapor, a byproduct of sulfuric acid and sulfur dioxide, makes a deadly, highly volatile cocktail that irritates the skin and the eyes. The men work with their bare hands, but no one shrinks from the task. They're focused on extracting the biggest possible load.
I inhaled so much smoke. I'll be coughing my lungs out all day.
Jumanto is barely 35 years old, but already a veteran, a solid, reliable miner, and a pillar in the community.
Hey, Jumanto, how are you, my brother? You started at what time?
4 a.m. I inhaled so much smoke. My mask's useless in the smoke.
In the past, there were a lot of accidents and many died. Now it's a little better, but having machines would help us.
Why are you talking about machines? What machines? For the mining company, this is out of the question. They don't give us any equipment. Everything we need, we have to buy. They know there'll always be miners, and that we're not afraid to die from the smoke. But we're afraid of one thing, not having enough food.
Death by sulfur or starvation, the miners of Kawah Ijen earn more than others in the village, but all know that there is a price to pay.
For me, the mine carries only bad memories. In '97, there was a terrible accident. Lethal gas seeped out of the crater and many miners died after breathing it. One of these young men was my brother. The volcano killed him. I'm angry at the volcano and those who exploit our children. They sacrificed my brother, and for what? For $3 a day?
It's now time for the ascent. Jumanto is carrying 60 kilos of sulfur ore, more than his own weight. Some miners lug 90 kilos on their backs, up and over the edge of the crater.
Damn, it's heavy. Guys, where's a good place to take a break? I can barely stand up. I don't know what I got today. I lost my breath in the smoke. So I'm just going to take it easy. We have to be careful. There are plenty of miners going down now.
It takes an hour to scale the 400 meters back to the top. The miners' biggest risk is losing their balance and falling.
It's damn hard, but think of our families. All of this effort just to make 30,000 rupees. Can you imagine? Life's unfair.
It's the same route in reverse. Miners hurry to cash in on their sulfur loads at the bottom, at the foot of the volcano, 2,000 meters below.
Yeah, it's me, Jumanto. How did I do?
60 kilos.
60 kilos of sulfur fetches 30,000 rupees, less than $3. The cashier pays the difference of a few extra grams in candy and cigarettes.
What? You think they need more? What are you talking about? More money? They have exactly what we said we would pay them per kilo. You know, we are making business, but we're also reducing unemployment.
This is the company that feeds us. They set the prices, what can I say? We must adapt our lives to the money we receive, not the other way round. But we're not slaves, and no one forces us to work here.
We go down to the volcano, we get money. It's all very clear and simple.
The miners don't complain or lament their fate, but at the foot of the volcano, they always pay a visit to Mrs. Yu's canteen.
I am the only woman in the mine.
This is our adoptive mother.
Yes, these are my children.
She takes care of us.
When miners are sad, I see it. I try to cheer them up. It's when they're tired, when they don't have enough money, all the little problems of life.
But what purpose does the sulfur extracted from these mines and carried on the backs of the miners of Kawah Ijen serve? Jumato takes us to one of the many sulfur plants that spread across the valley. Plants like this are the first stop for the raw sulfur before it is sent throughout Indonesia, supplying a range of industries from cosmetics to matches, all little empires that rely on the natural wealth of the crater and generate good profit.
I told him you were doing a report on miners and asked if he would answer questions. He told me not to trust you and said you'd speak badly of the mine and our work. But I've nothing to regret. I don't understand his reaction.
Far from the miners' villages, in the city, sulfur-based products are sold everywhere. But Jumato and his friends are afterthoughts to the inhabitants of the valley.
They're the ones who decide to go into the mine, and they're probably happy to do it.
No, Mum, you know it's not a choice, but they get what they deserve. They're illiterate, so they're only good for that job. Their job is only to bring the sulfur to its earliest stage in the production chain, so to each his place.
Right now, I'd prefer if my daughter doesn't know what I do. She's heard of the volcano, but that's about it. Either way, she'll learn soon enough. Me, I'm lucky. I had one serious accident, but many of my colleagues died. They gave their lives for the sulfur, it's true. We're aware of the risks, it's part of the job, but no matter, I'm happy. And I've no reason to complain.
The mine at Kawah Ijen is one of the last on the planet to use this method of manual extraction. The life expectancy of the miners rarely exceeds 60 years.